And that is the story we're going to stick on. The US Democratic Congressman Tom Malinowski is on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and in the last couple of weeks, actually, he's travelled as part of a bipartisan delegation to Ukraine. He met President Zelensky there and has just returned from the Munich Security Conference and joins us now from Ringo's in New Jersey. Tom Malinowski, thank you very much indeed for your time. I mean, you've certainly got the latest intelligence over the last couple of weeks of what people are thinking, but we've moved into that next stage, haven't we? The sanctions are being laid out in front of President Putin. In your view, are they strong enough?
I think it's a good first step from President Biden and other NATO allies. These are, I think, far stronger sanctions than Putin might have expected after, I would say, quote unquote, merely going into eastern Ukraine. I think Putin probably expected that we would spend a few days or weeks arguing about whether this was a real invasion, whether it merited a strong response. And I think he got his answer today from Germany, from the United States in particular.
I would suggest, I think perhaps the German response in terms of putting a hold on the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline was a bit of a surprise to come so quickly to many of us. You don't really think he's too surprised at the level of the other sanctions, though, do you? And the message that we've heard from, whether it's from Foreign Minister Lavrov or indeed from President Putin himself, is these sanctions don't touch the sides. They're not going to deter Russia.
Well, I would be a little careful drawing that conclusion. Look, it's absolutely that Russia has invaded Ukraine, but let's also be clear. This is about the most pathetic invasion that they could have mustered, at least to this point. We do not see yet, at least, an attack on Kiev. We do not see airstrikes. We do not see direct contact with Ukrainian forces. We may do that, but until we do, I think it's sure to suggest that our steps, our threats, and these sanctions have no deterrent effect whatsoever. I don't want us to be. Let me finish.
Yeah,
especially
sure.
After the last question you had, I think it's a dangerous mistake for us to be talking down our own side and to be exaggerating Putin's strength, the strength of his position. I think he's playing from a very weak position, in fact, and in whichever direction he moves, I think in the long term, he loses.
But what we do see domestically, I'm sure you'll agree, is essentially Putin has puppet master. I mean, every member of his cabinet, every member of the Duma is standing foursquare behind the decisions that he takes. I mean, he has carte blanche to take the next step as he sees fit.
Well, I don't see that as a sign of strength, frankly. I see a leader who is incapable of taking honest advice from anybody, who seems obsessed by this grandiose vision of reconstituting the Soviet Union at any cost. I see people around him who the looks on their faces suggest to me that they think he's nuts, and yet they're not able to give him counsel. That is not a recipe for success in any situation. Look, Russia didn't win when it marched into Afghanistan in 1979. The United States didn't win when it marched into Baghdad in 2003. So let's take a step back and evaluate each side's positions. And I would much rather be a strong and united NATO alliance wielding significant economic power in a way that is far more unified, I think, than Putin was hoping, versus a guy who would have lost had he backed down and may well lose even more spectacularly if he continues to move in this direction.
Tom Malinowski, thank you very much indeed.